oh, I need a treadmill in order to run. No, you don't need any of that. What you need is to stop making excuses and just go do it. My arms are giving out completely. I'm talking I physically could not hold them anymore. And I remember oh shoot, I'm shaking, and the pastor looks at me and he goes, Chuck, do you have him?
I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I think this is so real for some people that are going to hear this. I'd wake up, I'm going to go preach, I'm going to go do something, and I'm trying to find the fat shirt that I can put on so that I can still feel like I'm not. And let's just be real for a moment. That's a lot of people.
The church is stinking unhealthy.
I have made most of my disciples in this past season at the gym. Welcome to the Evangelism is Easy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Donald, and today we've got my friend, Pastor Chuck here, Mercy Culture Church and the Justice Reform. Can you just take a moment, introduce yourself, and let everybody know what you do and what you're a part of?
Yeah, so I'm the director of the Justice Reform, an anti-human trafficking organization, and we are building the largest restoration home in America for survivors of human trafficking. And construction started earlier this year, 2026, May. I think we had the groundbreaking ceremony, and it should be done by mid-2027. And super, super exciting. Chris, I still cannot believe this is the largest restoration home in America.
How many beds in America would you say? How many?
So I think they say with minors, everything, it's about 600, just say 650. I forget the exact number. I keep wanting to say 685, but it's 600 beds nationally. And so this restoration home will house up to 100 women who are survivors. And it's going to be incredible.
What's so fun is that I get to be the watchman on the wall. I don't know if you know this, but I live in Oakhurst. And we bought a home, and I overlook.
Let's go.
So it's to some of the neighbors in Oakhurst, maybe they're a little bit frustrated when they're hearing the building and whatnot. Every time I hear a hammer or a drill, I just smile because I know that house is being built, that home's being built, and it's beautiful right now. They got the second story up.
Yep.
It's awesome. And then, so part of that as well, you oversee the Justice Run.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so Justice Run, so really the Justice Reform is broken into three pillars. Okay. It's awareness, advocacy, and restoration. So awareness, Justice Run is our branch of awareness. And so that's where we're able to inform the community, and we say run to end human trafficking. So really, we consider it kind of like an outreach, but also an avenue where anybody from any facet of life can come and be a part to run against human trafficking. And so Justice Run, all of the proceeds from Justice Run go to the building of the Justice Residence.
That's great. And how many have you guys done to date in Fort Worth, Justice Run?
I believe we are coming up on our 6th.
That's awesome.
Yes, we're coming up on our 6th.
I was a part of, sometimes I'm traveling. I believe this year, I'll say this now, we'll come back to it, but I'm going to do the half marathon.
Full marathon.
I knew you were going to say that.
By the end of this podcast, full marathon.
By the end of this podcast, he is convinced that I'm going to run the full marathon.
Yes.
Thankfully, I'm wise enough to try to get around this. But I'll never forget the first Justice Run I ever did. It was pouring down rain. This is a couple years ago. I was paired up with Pastor Clay, Rick Miner.
Yeah, I remember.
And we were like one of four of the team. So with that relay, I think we run like a little over 6 miles.
Yeah, 6.5.
So I didn't realize as the first leg of the run that I would be starting the marathon, like with the marathon runners.
Yeah.
And so I take off running and I'm in the front, and there's like all these people behind me, and I'm thinking the whole time, man, if I take the wrong turn, it's going to be so embarrassing. And then our fierce pastor, Pastor Heather, was in the first leg of the relay as well. And I can remember the motivation in my mind in running is, I cannot let Pastor Heather beat me. I cannot let Pastor Heather beat me. And I survived. I made it. I remember. I ran 6 miles. Your team killed us. I do remember that because you had Pastor Heather, you had Pastor Matt Seville, which is like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Pastor Nate. It was so much fun. So that event, though, yearly, the whole church rallies around it. I think there was one in Austin this year. Last year
in Austin.
And it's expanding, which is so much fun. So today, though, I wanted to do a special podcast about health, physical health.
Let's go.
And when our team and when I thought about who I would like to be on that podcast, your name was you made the short list very quickly. And so I'm just thankful that you joined me to talk about this. To those that are listening, this is a bit different of content than we normally talk about when it comes to evangelism and discipleship. But I would say that in order to be a witness, we say all the time, we don't just do witnessing, we are a witness, that our health plays into that. And we'll get into some of those reasons here in a little bit. But I'm turning 40, just about 40. I'm in the month that I turned 40 right now. And I've been saying for 3 years, so at 37, I don't even know where I got this from. I was like, I'm going to be fit at 40. For 3 years, I've been saying I'm going to be fit at 40, because I realized just from observation that when people hit 40, maybe 45, what I've seen is people either will be healthy or they're going to be pretty unhealthy. It's like I've just found that around that age, as I look around me, and I've seen people make changes in their 40s, even in their 50s or their 60s, when it comes, like if they get for instance, if somebody goes to the doctor and they got to change their diet, you've probably seen that as well. All of a sudden they make a massive shift.
Yeah, for sure.
But just as I've observed over the years, I find that men that hit 40 and they're fit generally stay that way 50 and 60 and so on. So I've been saying this and kind of keeping this vision in front of me to be fit at 40. I would say, I said to my wife the other day, Chelsea, if I was in the shape that I am, in July right now, through my 40s, I would be happy, but I want to be in better shape. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to do the half marathon. The half marathon is to give myself some vision of some stuff to run after. But so for me, I grew up very active. I was on the basketball team, the track team, the cross country team. And then when I graduated high school, I worked on the dairy farm. I worked construction. So I never had to go to the gym to stay healthy or to do things. I could eat whatever I wanted to. I'd go and I'd work all day long. And then I find myself in my mid-20s, all of a sudden I slow down. I get a job at a local church. I'm doing ministry. And I can remember there was some days earlier on, I would just live at a coffee shop. So I'd have one meeting after the next meeting after the next meeting. And then I realized, man, I can't drink fully caffeinated coffee 3 times in a row. So I'd start getting decaf. But I quickly realized, so from about 25 till about 35, I did not take care of my body. And Aaron will laugh when he listens to this if he does. Aaron would call me Big Chris. There was different. There was medium Chris and then there was Big Chris. But the pace of my life changed. You add 3 and then we have 4 kids now. It's so you have 4 kids, they're doing stuff. You're just trying to stay alive. You're doing ministry and health kind of got put on the back burner. So when I hit 37, I knew if I don't make a shift in the next 3 years, I'm going to hit 40 and I'm going to be fat and I'm going to be not happy. So I made this shift in my mind. Well, I'd read a book by Dr. Michael Brown. The book is called Killing Food Addiction. It's got a big picture of a cheeseburger on the front of it. Oh, which, by the way, I travel all over the world. And when you travel all over the world and visit people, what do people want to do when you visit?
Yeah.
They want to feed you. So I wasn't healthy at home, and then I'm not healthy on the road as well because they're feeding you pizza, burgers, and everything else in between. So I read Dr. Michael Brown's book, Killing Food Addiction. And in that book, there was a line that has stuck with me for about 3 years. And it is, food is fuel. It's not the reward. Like a healthy body's the reward, and food is the fuel that you need. And I began to change the way in which I looked at food as fuel, because I would eat when I was happy. I would eat when I was sad. I would eat in between. I would eat when I was tired. And that would just but I wasn't doing any physical activity to actually burn any of those calories. So that book marked me. And then a friend came into my life, and he just said, hey, what do you think about going to the gym? This is about 2.5, 3 years ago. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm so thankful for that friend who asked me to begin to go to the gym. And he began to teach me and really disciple me in health. Mm-hmm. And one thing that he shared with me early on was, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency.
Yeah.
And what I had found was, I would say, okay, I'm going to do this diet, or I'm going to do this workout regimen, or I'm going to do 75 hard.
Yeah,
I can't even do 35 easy. And I'm like trying to do 75 hard. And through my 30s, it was marked with, okay, I'm going to not eat sugar, or okay, I'm not going to do this. And I would make all of these statements, but I would never actually be able to change habits and things in my life. So when this friend said, hey, why don't you come to the gym? And I began to get the right mindset when it came to food. And he was just teaching me, just be consistent. If you miss a workout, it's okay. If you splurge on a meal, it's all right. Just start back again the next day. And I found that over the past 3 years of eating pretty healthy, we can get into food here in a little bit, but eating pretty healthy and then staying consistent in the gym, I've gotten to some of the goals that I want to be at, but there's also more as well. So that's kind of my journey, right? Athletic, hit ministry, about a decade of not taking care of my body, realization I've got to change. God brings a friend into my life, Dr. Michael Brown, his book, and it shifts. And then for 3 years now, I've been working on it. I've joked with some of my friends. I've said it took 3 years and a 40-day liquid fast to actually get me to the place that I wanted to be. And it's been a lot of work, but one thing I'll say is I heard this and it really marked me, and then I want to hear about your journey with health. I heard somebody say it's hard to be fit, like to be healthy, and it's hard to be fat or to be unhealthy. And there was something about, like when I heard that maybe 2.5 years ago, I thought, man, it's so true. Like it's hard to wake up. It's hard to go to the gym. It's hard to make right choices in eating or whatever it is. And then now it's funny, if I'm at a birthday party and I see a piece of cake that I want to eat, sometimes I eat it. Like I'm not super crazy about that, but there's sometimes I know that I shouldn't eat but the old me would eat like 4 pieces of cake. I have this thing run through my head that says, you know what? It might be hard for a moment to say no to the second piece of cake, but I would rather say no to that and to be fit and to feel good the next day.
Yeah, for sure.
Than to eat that and have like 30 seconds of gratification and feeling good about whatever it is and then feeling like garbage the next day. So that's kind of my journey. I've been saying fit to 40, and so far to this point it's worked. But tell me, I'm excited to hear about like your fitness journey. And now, I mean, we'll get to it, but you're about ready to do an ultra marathon,
which
is how many miles?
50 miles. So this one will be 50 miles.
50
Technically,
miles.
An ultra is anything above a marathon. So anything over 26.2 miles is considered an ultra marathon.
Wow.
But this will be an ultra marathon that is 50 miles. Excuse me. 50 miles.
50 miles.
Yeah.
I know we did the Freedom Run on the 4th of July, and we're waiting for the fearless leader. I'm like, where's this guy? Where's Chuck at?
Yeah.
They're like, well, and I didn't have judgment.
I showed up late, man.
So I'm like, what's this guy doing? Is he sleeping in? Like I was trying to figure it out. Yeah. And then you roll up, you're just soaked in sweat. I'm like, you're like, yeah, I've already ran 10 miles. And I was like, you're crazy.
And I was a little behind pace, so that's why I was like, hold the line.
They held the line. But you'd already run 10 miles, and then we went and ran. Well, I'd say I jogged 4, and then you kept going, right, that day?
Kept going. A little bit more. Yeah.
So tell us about your journey and your fitness journey.
Yeah, so growing up, same thing, very similar. I wasn't in a cross country or anything like that, but still in sports, football, soccer, basketball, whole 9 yards growing up as, young adolescent, and then through high school. In high school, played football. But, got into drugs, alcohol, the whole 9 yards, partying, a reckless lifestyle. And so I was the kid in high school where I remember very clearly. So I was playing starting running back for the high school that I was at. Was quick, wasn't scared to get hit or hit people. I loved actually hitting, believe it or not. But I remember in weight room, I would never want to work out. And all the older, varsity players, seniors, they would always get on me. And I was always the guy like, hey, you know what? I would rather party as long as I can play football, party. So during weight room, I'd actually hide in the corner and just chill. And I'd talk to the team, hey, man, after this, let's go smoke. Let's do this. So I never lifted weights in high school at all. I didn't like doing it. I guess I was so into partying and drugs that I thought, hey, you know what? I just want to play football, go to the parties afterwards, hang out. And so was never into fitness. And so funny, you can ask my wife, actually. True story. So as we got married, was never into fitness. And I literally told her, I was like, babe, I want to get so fat, have a big belly where I could just chill and put a soda can right on my belly as I'm watching a TV. And because I was skinny, still to this day, I'm not very big. I was scrawny. I was quick and agile, but always super scrawny. So my thing was not so much fat. It was like, man, this kid's bones, and maybe a little bit of weight, but not muscular. And so when we were married, I'd always joke with her and be like, yeah, babe, I want to get, I guess what they call now a dad bod. I just want a big belly, be able to nah, I'm not going to do that. And literally would tell her that, and she'd be like, you're crazy, this, and that. And I think she didn't like the fact that I would always say that. But what happened, and I've never shared this with you, and I think it's really neat that you're a missionary, you're an evangelist, and here I am having this conversation with you, and we're talking about health and fitness. And what actually started my whole fitness health journey was a missionary. And crazy. So I was in Estonia, and I remember my wife and I, we were probably only married maybe 2 years, and we go to Estonia, and there was this crippled guy in a wheelchair. And in Estonia, the place where we were at, I think it was like a Bible study or something like that, they didn't have elevators. And so we had the group, some of the bigger, kind of like Russian looking dudes, they carried them up the stairs. We had Bible study. Well, by the end of the night, everyone's leaving. It's me and the pastor of the church and a couple other people. And so he asked me, he's like, hey, Chuck, we got to get this guy. We got to take him downstairs. You good to carry him? And so, I thought, yeah, I'm good. Let's carry him. So we're literally, Chris, carrying this crippled dude in a wheelchair down the stairs. And we get halfway through the flight of stairs. And Chris, my arms are giving out completely. I'm talking I physically could not hold him anymore. And I remember oh shoot, I'm shaking, and the pastor looks at me, and the stare that he gave me was I could see that death stare in his eye, that just killing, and he goes, Chuck, do you have him? And I remember him looking at me with you better not drop him. And I go, yeah, I got him. We get him down the stairs. Thank God I didn't drop him. So we go home, we're hanging out. He goes, hey, Chuck, let's go for a walk, man. We go for a walk, and
This pastor?
This pastor. So he and we go for a walk at the end of the night, and he just starts telling me hey, man, do you work out? What do you do for fitness? Do you work out? Do you do this? And I was telling him, I was like, not really. No. Do you run? Do you do anything? And I was like, no, I just, work, church, family. And he begins to tell me his dad was in the military. Okay. And he begins to tell me, Chuck, if you're going to have a heart for missions and a heart to travel. So I've always had a heart for missions. This is why I believe, Chris, I work in the area of the justice reform with anti-human trafficking and survivors. It's a mission field,
Yeah.
and it's an unreached people group. It's
Yes,
just
it
a little bit different. It's a different target, different demographic. And so I've always had a heart for missions. When I first got saved, I thought, my wife and I thought we would have been pioneering and planting a church overseas. That was
Wow.
my whole passion in life is, Lord, send me, I'll go, give up everything. Doesn't matter if I need to sleep on a cot. I will raise my children, my family in a third world country, and I will give my life to reaching whatever people it is. And so he ends up telling me, he's like, Chuck, if you have this heart for missions, how do you plan to do this till you're 70, 80?
Wow.
If you're not fit, you're not lifting weights, you're not running, all you do is go to church, eat late, hang out with your friends, hang out with your family, but there's no fitness. And here's the truth. The church is stinking unhealthy.
Yeah, it is.
There are so many, and I know you gave me permission, so sorry, guys.
No, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're going.
But there are so many fat Christians who are out of shape, who have every excuse in the book. And I think you said it earlier, hey, you were in ministry, this, that, and physically you became idle. You're winning the loss, you're praying, you're reaching, you're doing all the things a Christian should do.
Right.
But are you taking care of your temple? And so this guy ends up telling me, he tells me about CrossFit and all this different stuff. So I go back, leave Estonia, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to get fit. Here's the thing, Chris. I didn't get fit. I think I went to the gym for maybe a month. And then after that, I went back to my same lifestyle. Then a really good pastor friend of mine, who I would consider like a mentor.
Yeah.
He was in his 40s, actually, early 40s, mid 40s. He ends up having a full-blown heart attack, goes into cardiac arrest in front of his wife at home. I guess seized up, his wife had to start banging on his chest. He comes back, goes to the ER. They ended up saying that he went into cardiac arrest. And when his wife was beating and banging on his chest, that's actually what helped resuscitate his heart. So when I heard that, it was like this, the light bulb went on, is that loving God, loving people, witnessing, praying, all those things, it's great. It's beautiful. I mean, that's the life. That's what Christians do. But so many Christians live in that cycle. They go to church, they serve in their ministries, they pray, they witness, and then what do they do when it comes to fellowship? They go and eat.
Right.
And they'll go and hang out late hours with friends, fellowship, eating, and it's this repetitive cycle, and they never steward the temple that God has given them. And so when that happened to my pastor friend, I remember I really looked up to him, and I knew, okay, you know what? I'm not going to allow that to happen to me.
Right.
I almost dropped a guy down the stairs. Now someone who I looked up to in his early 40s, mid 40s is having a cardiac arrest. I need to get my act together. So immediately started going to the gym, then got into CrossFit, and then from there it just haven't ended.
How long have you been on that journey for, would you say?
Ooh.
When did that start?
That was probably in 2013, 2014. 2013, 2014 is when I really started going to the gym. And
you're over a decade in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's been, I mean, Chris, it's been honestly a lot of learning, man. When I first started, I just went to the gym, typical bodybuilding type style workouts, lift, eat, bulk up, type deal. Didn't do a whole lot of cardio. Then I got into HIIT training. I liked HIIT training. It was fun. Then I found out about CrossFit in 2016, 2017, found out about CrossFit, loved CrossFit, then massively stood into that till probably, 2020. And then after that, got into running because of the Justice Run, and here we are.
One thing, as I'm reflecting back on my 30s or even back into my 20s, I wish that somebody would have had that same conversation with me. Nobody told me the importance of fitness and working out. And I think, and we even joked around about it, but there's something that's real. It's called skinny fat.
Yeah, for sure.
So it wasn't like you were obese or out of shape you were out of shape, but this isn't about whether you're fat.
Physically fat.
It's like, is your heart good? Do you have strength? Are you?
Yes.
I'm going to make a post on my birthday that's basically going to say things that I wish I would have known in my 20s. And one of those is going to be the importance of physical fitness, strength training, HIIT training, whatever that is. And I'm thinking even now with my son, your son, I'm like, he's going to have such a bigger head start than I did. Because I mean, I just grew up on the farm and we just were active. Like my fitness training was carrying irrigation pipes or moving hay bales or this, that, or the other thing. So we would stay fit, but like it just wasn't a part of our everyday life. So let's make this practical, because what I want this to be for people is I want people that are listening to this that are not happy with where they are and are not healthy to feel encouraged to begin a fitness health journey. And by no means am I a trainer or a nutritionist at all. So this is more just about motivating people to start that journey. And now there's so much information out there. There's books, there's articles. Like, it's not hard to figure out what you need to do to get fit. So I want to keep this more on a heart level. But 3 practical steps. Let's talk through these things. Number 1 would be to have a clear vision. So let's talk about that for a moment. So for me, it was fit at 40. And well, now I can't say that anymore because I'm about to turn 40. And so I always like to put a vision out there in front of me. Right now, one of those things on the missions front, I'm going to go to Southeast Asia for 2 weeks, ride an enduro motorcycle, and sleep in a hammock in the rainforest.
Let's go.
So I've gone on trips like this and been out of shape and felt winded, felt fat, felt uncomfortable on airplanes, not being able to keep up, tired. So right now, a vision that's in front of me is I've got to be in a good place for this 2-week trip to Southeast Asia. And then after that, my next thing is going to be the half marathon with the Justice run. So for you, the full marathon. So for you, what kind of things are you working towards? And just think back over the last decade.
Yeah.
What have been these different things that you've worked for to be like, that's a goal that I'm shooting for?
Yeah, that's great. So it's always been having, yes, the scripture talks about that, right? Without vision, people perish. And I think a goal is super important. So for me, it was always, hey, I wanted to gain. So for me, I was on the other opposite.
Which we always joke about this. There's 2 different guys in the world. Yeah. Those that go to the gym to lose weight, that's me. And those that go to the gym to gain weight. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. God set it up this way because you're getting both.
Yeah. And you have the skinny fat people that they're skinny, they're scrawny, but they're still out of shape. They can't run. They huffing and puffing if they're running. And so for me, it was, okay, I wanted to gain on a little bit of size. I wanted to get strong because I'd always been pretty small, a little bit scrawny, weak. And so my thing was, okay, I want to be able to lift weights. Like, I want to be strong, but I also want to have stamina. I want to be able to jump rope. If someone says, hey, let's go do 10-mile hike, I want to be able to do a 10-mile hike, not having to sit down every, couple steps or something like that. And so for me, originally, it was, man, I just want to get stronger. So my goal was like, hey, I want to be able to hit a certain amount of plates on a bench press. I want to be able to back squat.
Could you do 225 right now?
I can, but I'm still not as strong as I used to be.
But that's pretty good.
But I lost a lot of strength. I'll say this. Endurance training. We'll get into it in this combo, but I'm not an avid runner, man. Like,
I know.
I just started liking running. This sounds wild saying because I'm doing a 50-mile ultra, and man, 2 weeks ago, last week, what am I talking about? I was running this Saturday, Chris. And I'm like, you know what? Running sucks. Why am I doing this? This is stupid. I'm running for an hour, 2 hours. Lord, but it's an assignment. It's what God's told me to do. And that's why I'm running.
And tell me if I don't like to just be the person that's always like, I'm going to do this and then not do it.
Yes.
And so there's been times on this journey where I have a vision that I keep in my mind and I'm like, and then when I'm 2 or 3 weeks in, I'll start to talk about it. I don't know if you can relate to what I'm saying because in times past in my 30s, it's like, I'm going to do this. And then 3 weeks later, I'm not doing it. So like, I wouldn't have wanted to do this podcast 2 years ago. I'm like, okay, I've been at this for 3 years and I feel like I finally have something to say because I've been doing it consistently. But now what I found is that even this podcast, like I'm saying I'm going to do a half marathon. That's the most I've ever ran. And I even did cross country. But the moment that I say that, and tell me if it's different for you, there's a bit of applied good pressure.
Oh, for sure.
Because, well, now you're going to be like, well, you're going to run that half marathon, aren't you? And my wife's going to be like, hey, don't forget you said that you're going to run that half marathon. And that motivates me towards the goal. Have you found the same thing?
So practically setting a target and setting a goal is a very good gauge for fitness and being able to be consistent. So for me, early off, it was, hey, I want to get strong. I want to, gain a certain amount of size. After that, when I got into CrossFit, it was, okay, I want to be able to do a certain workout at a certain time. I want to be able to complete X amount of reps in a certain time. Then it started, okay, now I want to compete in CrossFit. I want to do local competitions. So I would register, sign up. So I think what you're saying is crucial for anybody in fitness. And the thing for even you guys, like, I think sometimes so many people overcomplicate fitness and it's like, oh, you got to be elite powerlifting, CrossFit, this, that. Like, no, just work out. Like if you're doing nothing right now, but you start working out 3 to 4 days a week, like that is a huge commitment. That's a huge goal. And so I think just starting somewhere, getting a certain goal and target, hey, I'm going to do this 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever it may be, and then stick to it. Once you start accomplishing that goal, now you raise it up again and you keep going.
Just yesterday, I'm in the garage. Like yesterday, I'm cleaning the garage out. I just bend over to pick up my son's bike to move it, and my back pops. And I'm like, oh man, like, all right. Like I was a Christmas tree harvester, like farmer for like 5 years with my father-in-law.
Dang.
I have moved things on the dairy farm. Like I know that I've done things to injure my back. And so it's been this process. So the moment that happens, it feels like there's a setback, and there's other setbacks as well, because like I've got a goal. We've been joking with our friends. We're like, it's get jacked July. Like, let's go. Let's lift more than we've ever lifted. And then this setback comes. And so I can remember, this just happened yesterday. I'm like, oh man, like I was going to go to the gym at 1. And then my wife just looked at me and she's like, nothing's telling you that you can't go to the gym and just do your normal walk on the treadmill.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I got to the gym. I still stay consistent. I woke up this morning. I was like, okay, I can't lift today. And what I've been doing is 30 minutes on the treadmill for 12% incline, at 12% incline at 3 speed. So 3, 12, 30.
Yeah.
But I was able to stay consistent. So I woke up, I felt a little bit like, oh man, I can't do my normal lifting. But I'm like, no, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to show up. I went, I did my walk. So there's been days when I travel, I miss workouts. You get back home, you're dealing with, I don't deal too much with jet lag, but just different time zone changes, tiredness, things like that. But I found that instead of beating myself up when I miss a workout, I can just start the next day. So talk about consistency in your life and how you stay consistent with work, family, vacation, travel, and all the things that you do.
Here's the reality. There's always going to be excuses. Always. When it comes to fit,
I think you need to take a moment and just very boldly talk to the excuses. Like I would with people that don't share their faith, and there's all these excuses. I feel the Holy Spirit on this. Just take a moment, like you're talking to another man, and just say, remove the excuses. So please just go in on that thing and don't hold back. Don't hold back. Just go in and say what's really in your heart.
Yeah. So I think with health and fitness in general, there's always excuses. Like you will have 1,000,001 excuses and it'll never end. You're going to tell yourself, oh, well, I need to set up my gym. I need to do this. I need to go to this gym, not that gym, because this gym sucks and this gym's dirty. So let me go to the glorified gym. Or if it's not that, it's, oh, I need a treadmill in order to run. No, you don't need any of that. What you need is to stop making excuses and just go do it. And that's the crazy thing, Chris, is like so many people, they're just excuses. And I wouldn't say they're lazy.
Right.
Maybe could be some laziness, but sometimes it also has to do, you just don't want it bad enough. But here's the reason why I say.
That was good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I needed to hear that. I'm like, that's right. I don't need my gym membership. No, I'm joking.
But here, I mean, and obviously gym memberships help, but like fitness is so easy.
It is.
It really is, man. It's consistency. It's like this. Here's how I like to explain consistency. Does someone have to remind you when to eat? No. You eat unless you're a child, an infant, adolescent, whatever. But a majority of the time you eat because you know you have to eat. You eat because you know if you don't eat, you're not going to have energy. Yeah. You're going to start starving. You're going to be cranky, grumpy, whatever it is. You need to eat, going back, because it's your fuel for your body.
Right.
So consistency is the exact same thing. It's if you're not consistent, you won't be able to be fit. You won't be able to be healthy. And so I think inconsistency, what's helped me is it's a priority in my life. The same way brushing my teeth is a priority. Same way taking a shower is a priority. Straight up, like if you do not make health and wellness, fitness a priority in your life, here's the revelation you need. You will never do it.
Right.
Because it's not a priority. It's not a priority. Why do people not daily encounter? Why don't people read their Bible? Why don't people pray? Here's the reality. It's not a priority to them. But they'll do 1,000,001 other things. They just won't do that. Go on your phone, do this, do all the different things. So consistency starts when it's a priority.
That's right.
And so what's helped me in the area of consistency is definitely saying, okay, it's a priority. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do this. And for everyone, it's different. For some people, I have to train at minimum right now 5 to 6 times a week, and it looks different every day. For some people, it may be 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is, and I want to be the first to say, like, I don't have this all together. I think this is super crucial. This past Saturday, I didn't want to go and run. I didn't. So my wife, she wanted to go and run. Here's the thing, Chris, the last 2 weeks, being really honest with this whole ultra marathon training, like I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick and tired of running, to be honest. And I think I'm getting at that volume in my training per week of 30 to 40 miles a week. Now I'm going to have to start getting into 50 miles a week. Like it feels like I'm almost like I'm living to run. And honestly, it's not fun sometimes. Right. I don't wake up being like, oh yeah, I got it. Today I get to go do 10 miles just on a normal day. Like It's not a long run. This is a Monday. This is a Tuesday. But the truth is I have to do it because I've committed to doing this ultra. And part of the ultra, it coincides with Justice Run, and really we're believing for an end to human trafficking in America, which I can share a little bit later. But consistency is everything. It's getting out there. It's doing it. It's when you don't feel like doing it, when you don't feel like going to the gym, when you'd rather just chill, watch a movie, eat, hang out, spend time with your family. But it's saying, you know what? I'm going to just tell the flesh to be quiet.
Right.
I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it.
It's like Now, 3 years in, my kids are like, on my Sabbath, hey, Daddy, because I like to lift on my Sabbath. When are you going to go to the gym today? So it's like even my family recognizes. And then for the wives listening to this, if Chelsea were here, she'd say amen. My wife actually encourages me to go to the gym. It's not taking away from her. She actually knows that it's making me a better man. Like for my girls, my son, they take pride in, my dad's in good shape. My dad can play basketball. My dad, this, that. Like there's something about that in them that when they see me go and get the workout in and come back home, I don't know how to fully articulate it, but they know that it's just as much for them as it is for me. I saw this thing on social media where it's a man and there's like a Marine behind the father carrying the wife and the kids. And it says, this is the only picture that you'll need to motivate you to work out. Like you don't want another man to have to carry your family across the river. Like, and there's something in me as a protector, as a man, as a father, that when my daughter has her boyfriend someday come over, she's 13 now, so we're a ways out, that I want him to be a little bit scared. Like, I want to be a man. Like, I want to be that 40-year-old, that 50-year-old guy that you look at. Because when I was in my 20s, 30s, you look at those guys, like, just think about Pastor Les's dad.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, looking at him. I'm like, that's what I want to look like when I'm like something about when you can look at a man and go, that guy cares about his body. You would see those guys that would work out and they're like, well, you know, that guy right there, he's just into himself, or, you know, they're vain. Like that's just vanity. And I'm like, actually, probably not. They're probably just disciplined. And you're probably insecure, the one that's saying it.
For sure.
And then let's talk about vanity. And actually, Dr. Michael Brown in his book, his wife Nancy writes about this. She would wake up every morning and she would try to find the shirt that she could wear that wouldn't make her look fat. So here she was, out of shape, trying to find something that would make her look and feel comfortable. So she called it her black suit. She would wear the same black suit every day because it would make her not look fat. She said what she realized is that when she got in shape, she would wake up and she could put anything on and she wouldn't even think about it. And again, you won't be able to relate to that, but I can, because there's been seasons where I'm 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. And maybe people wouldn't look at me and think, oh man, Chris was overweight. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I think this is so real for some people that are going to hear this. And I can remember I'd wake up, I'm going to go preach, I'm going to go do something, and I'm trying to find the fat shirt that I can put on so that I can still feel like I'm not. And let's just be real for a moment. That's a lot of people. So I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I'm actually more concerned about how I look when I'm fat than when I'm actually fit. Now that I'm fit, and again, it's not something you walk through, but now that I'm fit, I wake up, I'm like, I don't even think about what I put on. I can just put it on and go out the door because it's not that big of a deal. And I feel like for some people listening to this, and I'm just going to just lean in here for a moment, listen, and let this motivate you. If you wake up every morning, and I'm going to speak to the men for a moment, and you feel fat, and you feel out of shape, and you feel like you have a low self-esteem, pull it together, get a gym membership, start walking, do something today or tomorrow, and begin to shift that. Again, this is 3 years of working out and a 40-day fast to get me to the weight that I actually wanted to be at, which is wild. But it took me being uncomfortable and coming to this place where it's like, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to be the fat guy with the pretty wife. Like, I want, when my wife goes out in public with me, to be like, that guy right there, he's a man. And that's my man. And it's been fun. The last, 3 years of working out, Chelsea has greatly appreciated it. And I think these are things that we don't want to leave out. Like, that goes into every aspect of our life. And I just really want those listening to hear what we're talking about today and stop making excuses. Because to what you said, there are so many stinking excuses. And there'll be people that are going to go right past this podcast. You're going to get frustrated. Oh, I can't believe they're talking about that. And you're probably actually the ones that need to listen to this podcast and get this in your heart so that you can be healthy for your children, healthy for your grandchildren, healthy for your wife, healthy for your church, that you can show up to staff meetings and lead, and so that you can lead by example. And do not allow excuses to keep you from the very stinking thing that frustrates you every day. It's like the person that's like, why are we talking about money? Like, we come to church and why are we talking about money? Well, God talks a lot about money in the Bible because you stinking think about money all day long. And it's like, well, I don't want to go to a church that talks about money, but then yet you think about it all day long. And it's like, well, I don't want to talk about health, but yet you're thinking about it all day long because you're not happy with how you look, how you feel, and where you're at in your health journey. So I would encourage you, let this podcast provoke you to a place that you'll actually make a change that will stick. All right, I think I got all that out. I needed to get that out, get that off my chest. Let's move into the next thing here as we begin to wrap this up. 3 reasons to get healthy, okay? Number 1, steward God's temple. The story you shared about the pastor that went into cardiac arrest, and how crazy. That shook you. Like, it's important that we steward that. Number 2, loving your family well.
Yes. I would say having nice appearance, there's nothing wrong with that. And, whether people vanity or not, like having a nice, healthy appearance, there's nothing wrong with that. I want to look good for my wife. You want to look good for your wife, and I'm sure our wives want to look good for us, like vice versa. But one of my most favorite things, and it's like this movie that I play in my head sometimes, Chris, is I love that you say for our families. And here's the reason being. My wife and I, we got married super young. So my son and daughter, my daughter's turning 17 in September. My son's 15. I'm 38. So fairly short age gap, small age gap. And one of the things I look forward to, and this is what motivates me in my health and fitness journey, even when I drink too much coffee, it's like, man, I got to slow down on the caffeine because I don't want to get high blood pressure. I want to be healthy. So it's not just being fit, it's being healthy. Yes. But one of the things that plays on in my mind like a movie is I can't wait, Chris, till the day when my son's my age. And this will get me emotional. And I have grandchildren. And it's like, hey, guys, let's do a guy's day. Let's go snowboarding. Let's hit the lake. Let's wakeboard. Let's surf. And I've done everything I could to steward my health and my fitness, not because of me, but because of my children, my future grandchildren. Chris, wouldn't that, I don't know. It's like this video that gets played in my mind, but imagine that. One day, you with your son's children, maybe he has a son or whatever, a daughter, and you guys are all able to do a run together. You're able to go snowboard or ski together, surf together, go, hey, we're going to do something epic as a family and go do a sick climb and then jump off, the cliffs into the water in Hawaii. Like, that's what motivates me. So that's the only thing I wanted to leave in that, and family.
I mean, my dad is healthy. I mean, we rode dirt bikes, we did adventures, we did hikes. I mean, it was amazing. So thinking to make those memories with our families is powerful. And last one, to advance the kingdom of God, which we've hit on. But I'll end with this story, and then I want you to talk for a moment about the Justice Run and give all the information on that. Yeah. I was just in Brazil with my family for 19 days, and we did on Friday night, I preached. Saturday, I preached twice. Sunday, I preached 4 times. So what's that? 7? Is that right? Yeah, 7 times. 3 plus 4. Yeah, 7. So I preached 7 times in 3 days. And then in the middle, I was active. I was with the people. I was swimming. In between the second service and third service, I went to the gym and worked out. And it was funny because the leaders were like, Chris, like, when are you going to rest? And they were telling Chelsea, they were like, this guy, like, he just never stops. Like, he just has so much energy. And I'm thinking, and it was actually like they were impressed by it. And it's like, if I go back 3 years and have thought about preaching 7 times in 3 days.
It's a lot.
Bro, there's like no way.
Yeah.
Like, and then knowing what I'm going to do in Southeast Asia, other things that we have coming up this year. So when it comes to kingdom advancement, like I'm going to take the gospel to a place where you can't drive a car. Like you have to be physically fit in order to do that. I don't have the math all figured out on this, but somebody, I think it was Nathan Mansfield, that broke down how many miles on average Jesus would walk a day. Like these guys were walking on foot. Oh, yeah. They were moving. And you've been to Israel, right? There's hills. Not yet. You need to go. There's hills. You climb up and down. And so just realizing, like when somebody comes to me, and it happens a lot in America, and they're like, hey, you just ministered. You must be really tired. I'm like, I'm not. Like I'm full of life. I'm sometimes I get tired, but I'm full of life. I'm full of energy. I've been putting the right food in my body for the most part. I've been working out, and I found that it makes me a better instrument for God to use in the nations in Brazil or in America. And I want to, until I'm never going to retire. So the other day I had this thought, if I were to be given millions of dollars tomorrow, I would do the same thing I'm doing today tomorrow. Like there's I'm doing what I love to do. Yeah. So I want to be able to have this body carry me as far as I can. And we have a prophetic word that we're going to go to 60 nations and preach the gospel. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, if 40 is like the halfway mark, then we got 40 more good years. And I look at guys like Dr. Michael Brown, these other guys that are living it, doing it, change their health. And I'm like, I want to be like that. So when it comes to kingdom advancement, at the end of the day, yes, family, yes, all these other things, but I want to be able to bring God glory as long as I possibly can. So to wrap up, why don't you talk about the Justice Run for a moment? Just kind of give a call to action, let people know how they can get connected. Anybody watching want to come do the half marathon with me? Like, let's
full
do
marathon.
Full marathon.
Full marathon. We're not going to let them. We're not going to let this podcast.
We'll get back to you on that soon. But yeah, either half or half.
We'll take the half. I'm missing.
And then there's a way that we're going to have people donate this year as well. So like if I'm doing 13 miles, people can give $13. Right, as many people as I can can give that money, and we're going to do a fundraiser in the midst of the run. Yep. But why don't you just talk about that for a moment before we close?
It really is our community awareness piece where people can run to end human trafficking. So a lot of times in the area of human trafficking, people think of rescue, people think of going out and, helping survivors or helping the victims. And we've made this so easy that I think a lot of times people can overcomplicate it. And we can run and be a voice for the voiceless to run against human trafficking. So when you do the half marathon, not only are you running so your registration, practically, your funds, your registration go to the building of the Justice residence, but also you get to run. So in Scripture about the prodigal son, the father, we know it says he ran after him and gave him a kiss, and so or hugged him. I'm probably messing it up right now, but one of the things I believe when it comes to Justice Run is we are running for someone else's freedom. We are chasing after freedom to say, God, you can set the captives free. So with Justice Run, all the proceeds go to the building. And then you as an individual, you're running with a purpose. So you're not just running to run. You're running because you know, hey, when you run, you're making an impact for survivors of human trafficking. And on top of that, what we've made super easy, really, really simple as a goal is, let's say you're like, okay, hey, I'm on my fitness journey. And you mentioned it earlier. You've never done a half ever. This is going to be your first half. So you can tell your friends, family, hey, this is the run I'm doing. I'm doing Justice Run. It's the first time I've ever ran a half marathon. Would you support me? And as I run, pay me, or not pay me, but make a donation to contribute to this cause that I'm running for. So it's almost like a running for miles. Yeah, so awesome. You do a half marathon. Someone wants to, let's say, donate $13 to you, and you invite your friends, family, hey, this is why I'm running. I'm running to end human trafficking. You could support the cause. This is why I run. I run to set the captives free, to see the largest restoration home in America being built.
So how can they get the information? Is it a text?
Yeah, so they can text RUN to 59090, can also visit justicerun.com. All the information. It's a full marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K, and one of the funnest one, which you've done, and we've won, by the way, just FYI.
I have a silver medal. Silver medal.
Just had to slide that in. Sorry. But yeah, so is the team relay marathon.
Yeah.
So fun because who doesn't like competition? And it's fun, friendly competition. Last year, we got demolished by Tyler Jenkins and Hunter and these other guys. They crushed us. But it's so fun. So the team relay is 4 people running the full marathon. And so it's cut in 4s, essentially.
That's awesome.
And rally up. Get that. And so, yeah, if you want to check it out, justicerun.com. You can also text RUN to 59090.
Awesome. Well, I feel like we covered quite a bit.
Yeah.
And if anything, again, I'm not claiming to be a fitness expert. I'm not claiming to be a health expert. But I can just tell you over the past 3 years, I've felt like even just the conviction of God to get healthy and then to say fit at 40. And I'm here. It wasn't perfect. There was a lot of moments where I didn't, keep doing everything right at all. Maybe a week I drop off here or this or that or the other thing, but I've stayed consistent for 3 years, and we've had good results. So I just want to encourage you, if you're watching this, please, what you can do is you can just start tomorrow. Normally I'm talking to you about stepping out, sharing your faith, telling somebody about Jesus, which, by the way, I have made most of my disciples in this past season at the gym. So
let's go.
I mean, the guy, Damien, that I'm discipling right now, he came over and said, hey, can you give me a spot? We spotted him, and he was born again, and I've discipled him. A guy named Phil was on the stair climbing. I said, you don't got to stop. And I just preached the gospel to him, and he just climbed right into heaven. It was odd. He was born again, and now he's married. And so a lot of, it's really a mission field as well. So I just hope that this encourages you guys. I hope that some of you guys choose to start a health and fitness journey after this podcast. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching.